What is going on, everybody? I am Refo, and today I'm going to be telling you how I qualified from round 1 in the recent Amar Cup and how you can qualify for round 2 in the upcoming Trios tournaments. So if this video did help you out, please consider dropping a like, and if you want to see more tips and tricks videos, consider subscribing. Also, feel free to let me know in the comments below, do you think Scrims or Arena is better practice and why? I'll be pinning one of my favourite responses in 24 hours. Thank you, let's get straight into the tips. Tip number 1, playing aggressive in early rounds. Playing aggressive is crucial in early rounds as kill points act as extra points. Even if they aren't worth much in the tournaments, they still add up as every point counts in the current format. They aren't just for points as well. Getting more kills upgrades your loot, preparing you for endgame, meaning you can secure the victory royale in your first game to get you a good starting range on your points. I would recommend looking for high ground, especially in the early rounds, as high ground is an amazing place to get a lot of kills in endgame.
Focus right now.
Good attack, they're not in zone.
6-1, 6-3.
Boys, I need one each. Puffy, your job is to look after height. I'm gonna connect us, okay?
Tip number 2, knowing the correct fights to take. It is very important in tournaments to understand which fights will be beneficial to your game and which won't be. I would recommend trying to only take early game fights and late game fights where you can, as these fights are normally much safer than mid game fights. I would recommend trying to avoid mid game fights in later rounds. This is because mid game fights generally last longer and people have more resources which they will use in these fights. This makes mid game fights have a much higher chance of being third partied, which usually isn't beneficial to your game. Early game fights are good as they allow you to take more loot from your drop, and late game fights are good to your game as they are usually quick and they can refresh your important resources such as materials and ammo.
I have no heals left.
I've got minis. I need to use my...
Follow me guys.
Go to play. I've got a little bit of mats, I've got 100 mats today.
Oh yeah, it's like 3. Do you need to go for height, guys?
I don't think we do, I don't know. You're right.
Nice.
Tip number 3, playing consistent throughout. You should aim to stick to a similar playstyle and game plan throughout the whole tournament. This means sticking to the same drop spot and rotating in a similar direction each round. For example, although zones may be unpredictable, if your drop spot is at the most eastern point of the map, then you will most likely be heading towards the centre of the map or west. Knowing areas to avoid is key to your games going smoothly in tournaments. Tip number 4, understanding zones. I believe zones are very important in tournaments as they make a key point in everybody's playstyle as they decide how your game plays out. I would recommend learning dead sides of zones so you know the best places to rotate, which is usually the dead side of zone. To find the dead side of zone, I would recommend looking at where the major locations of the map are and where they meet up in the new zone. You can also see where people are positioned in endgame to know which side to rotate to so you don't get shot.
What's that zone looking like? Dead side. Okay, so because everyone is over here, this side of the zone is going to be dead side because there's going to be more people rotating from here to here than from here to here, which is why this side is going to be dead side, and it's a good place to get if you want to go over there and chill if you've got a lot of mats. But if you're scuffed, you want to try and go in the middle to try and get an entry frag over there, not an entry frag, but an impact frag. Get your mats, then go to dead side if you want. The next zone, it depends which way it goes, but you can decide on where you want to go if it's dead side.
Tip number 5, staying positive throughout the tournament. In tournaments, it can be very easy to believe that dying one game could be the end. But it's not. It's your responsibility in the trio to keep vibes up for each other. Remember that you can easily turn a tournament around, and there are other people who died or spawned in their game as well, and some of those people will go on to qualify. Just remember that one game isn't everything, and you shouldn't go into the next game with a bad mentality, so take a quick break if you have to, and cheer each other up. Just remember, you can't change your past games, so just forget about it, and use it as a learning experience. You can change the future of your games. Also, remember that one tournament isn't everything, and it isn't a big deal if you don't do as you would have liked. Then remember, there will always be more tournaments, so keep grinding. I would also recommend focusing on a current mindset. This is where you don't focus on what could happen or what has happened, and just focus on doing your best in the current game. Try not to focus on points or leaderboards, just play your best.
How much?
Do it a little bit to the left of them. Right, ready? 90%. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh my god.
And finally, coming on to tip number 6. This is understanding your playstyle and playing around it. We obviously all have our strengths in our playstyle, so it's always great to play around our playstyle where we can play to our strengths. Maybe you're a more aggressive trio, think about pushing some more fights. Your playstyle is unique, so playing around it is a great move. So that is all the tips for today. I hope this video did help you out. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next one. You have been awesome.
Probably dead, probably dead, probably dead.
Drop.
Don't drop, don't drop, don't drop, don't drop. Stay on high.
I got
Give him the high, give him the high. Hit him high, one shot, dead, dead.
I'm back.
Stay on high, stay on high, stay on high. Actually, I need to do flash.
Stay on high, guys. Stay on high.
Alright.
Stay on high.
Bring that kid down, bring that kid down.
Still on high. Still on high. I'm padding high.
Yeah, back right.
Come here, padding high.
Alright, kid drop, kid drop. Stay on high, don't let this kid stay here. Nice, yeah, right, fine, drop down, start dropping down. Start dropping down, right, 3v2, they're in there. Hit, crack. Right, last one's crack.
Last one's gone up. Come and get the heal up.
Yeah, we can't have it. That crack's on.
Cutting up.
Yeah, I can't come to you.
Level up. Green up.
40.
Crack.
Let's go!
Let's go.
Good win.